know you got your college degree. I know you have your title. I know you have your network. I know you have your company, but I don't want to talk about your LinkedIn profile. I want to talk about you specifically, the expertise you've been building for, or maybe the several companies you work for the past 10, 15 years, and you've been bringing value to that organization. But today I want to talk about the frameworks you developed while on that journey, the problems you solved, patterns you recognize, and that's just not like background context for your resume, right? We're not talking about resumes here. We're focused on you. You have always been the product, and the market has always needed you and your expertise. The only reason why they haven't been able to find you is because you were not discoverable. Come on. So today we talk about, like I said, you, the product, and we're going to talk about why it has been there. You have been there the whole time, developing, growing, learning, evolving. And we're going to show you how to build that while not quitting your 9 to 5, exiting your role, because all of that information has been locked inside of you for decades, right? But the first thing we have to attack, and what keeps most leaders stuck, is their mindset. So I want to walk you through the product framework, right? I want to address, like I said, the belief that stops most corporate leaders before they even start. I'm talking about imposter syndrome, right? So that belief sounds like this. I need to create something worth selling. I need to develop a certification, or I need to get a certification. I need to write a book. I need to reinvent myself. I need to become something totally different from what I already am before the market pays me. That's not true. That belief is wrong. And not just slightly wrong, but just foundationally wrong, in a way that has been costing you years of consulting income while you waited to feel ready. And the market does not pay for novelty. They pay for solutions to problems it has already experiencing right now. And the solution to those problems is not something you need to go build from scratch. It is something you have been building every single day inside your corporate role for the last decade. And the product has always been there. Again, it's you. You have just been delivering it for free inside the building that owns the rights to that output. So let that set in. Well, not for free, you're getting paid, right? But you're not getting paid for the extra stuff you're delivering on the side. So let me define the product with a precision, because I think the abstraction is what makes people dismiss it. And the product is not your job title. The product is not your industry experience. In general terms, the product is the specific, repeatable capability you have developed for solving a specific high-value problem that organizations consistently face and consistently struggle to solve without your help, right? So let me give you some examples so this becomes concrete and hit home. So if you spent 12 years in supply chain leadership, navigating disruption, the product is not the supply chain consulting. The product is the ability to stabilize a fractured supply chain in 90 days without losing the supplier relationships that took years to build. So if you have spent 15 years in human resources leading talent strategy, the product is not HR advisory. The product is the ability to diagnose the 3 specific culture breakdowns that are causing your voluntary attrition to spike and fix them before the next fiscal year begins. Hey, quick break. Everything we've been talking about in this episode, this is exactly what comes up when corporate leaders take the corporate income audit. It's a free 5-minute diagnostic I built specifically for directors, VPs, and senior professionals who know they have more to offer than what their salary reflects, but haven't built anything outside their role. So the audit shows you where you are on the corpreneur journey right now. So your expertise score, your leverage gaps, and the specific stage you're in, from trapped expert all the way to leveraged corpreneur. So most people who take it tell me it's the first time they've seen everything in their situation mapped out clearly. Link is in the show notes. Take it during the episode and we'll keep going when you get back. So you spend decades building financial leadership, building forecast systems. The product is not finance consulting. The product is the ability to give a growth stage company the financial visibility infrastructure it needs to make confident decisions at scale without hiring a full-time CFO. Do you see the difference? The product is a transformation, specific, measurable, urgent, and tied directly to a problem that the market is actively paying to solve. So your podcast is where you articulate that transformation publicly and consistently until the right client hears it and reaches out. Man, this is so good. So here's the exact reason the product has been invisible to the market, even though it has been fully developed inside you for years. It has never been packaged in a format that the market can't evaluate. Inside your company, the product gets delivered through meetings, through presentations, through project outputs, through your presence in the room. The people who experienced it, your colleagues, your leadership team, the stakeholders you serve, that sounds lame, but they experienced it directly and they trust it because they watched it happen. But the external market cannot see any of that. They cannot watch you in a meeting. They cannot observe you solving problems in real time. They cannot experience the product before they buy it. And without the ability to experience the product before buying it, the trust required to invest in it does not form. This is the packaging problem. And the podcast solves it in a way that nothing else with the same efficiency, right, can do. So every episode is a packaging event. Every time you record a solo episode, the specific problem your product solves, you're taking the expertise that lives inside your head and converting it into a format that the market can experience, evaluate, and trust before money changes hands, like I'm doing right now. I'm encouraging you to start your podcast. Right. So let me give you another breakdown too. I want to draw a distinction that I think changes everything about how you see your professional situation right now. As an employee, your expertise belongs to your employer in the context of your role. You deliver it inside their system in exchange for a salary. You get paid well. You have no ownership of output. You have no probability of the income. You have no leverage beyond the performance review cycle. As a product owner, your expertise belongs to you in every context. You deliver it to whoever needs to hear it the most. You set the price, you control the terms, you build the platform, you own the relationship, you generate income from that same knowledge base, whether you are employed or not. The shift from employee to product owner does not require you to quit your job, does it? It requires you to start packaging your expertise as a product that exists independently of your employment relationship. So your podcast is the vehicle for that packaging, right? So every episode you record is an act of product ownership, right? You are taking your expertise out of the context of your employer and placing it into a context that belongs entirely to you. So we're going to talk about inventory. You already have this. So let me walk you through the inventory that is sitting inside your professional history right now. It's all in your mind. You have this. The raw material for a consulting or coaching product that the market will pay for, right? Listen to me. The first item in your inventory is your diagnostic capability. The ability to walk into any situation, a broken process, a dysfunctional team, a stalled initiative, and identify the root cause before anyone else has even agreed on what the symptoms are. Most people inside organizations cannot do this. You can. That is the product. The second item is your framework, the repeatable approach you use to solve the class of problems you specialize in. So it may not have a name yet. It may not be documented anywhere outside your instincts, which you do naturally, but it exists and it can be extracted, named, and packaged into a framework the client pays for. The third is your pattern library. Every time you've seen the same organization dynamic play out across different companies, different industries, different leadership teams, you have added to a pattern library that is uniquely yours. That library is worth significant amount of money to a client. And the fourth item is your network. The relationships you have built across your career, former colleagues, vendors, partners, industry contacts. These are not just connections on LinkedIn. They are professional, right? This is a professional ecosystem that has value to a client who needs access to the right people to solve a specific problem. So when you bring your network to a consulting engagement, you are delivering more than expertise. You are delivering access, and access is one of the most premium priced consulting services that exists. Stay with me here. Okay. So I want to talk about your podcast and what it's going to unlock. right? All 4 inventory items. So here's a specific way your podcast converts each inventory item into a market facing asset. So your diagnostic capability becomes visible through solo episodes where you diagnose industry problems publicly. The listener watches you work in real time, identifying root causes, naming patterns, proposing frameworks, and decides you are the person they want in the room when their specific version of that problem shows up. Your framework becomes marketable through episodes where you break down your framework step by step. So you give it a name, you walk through each stage, you explain why it works and what happens when organizations skip a step. By the time a client engages you that already understands your framework at a conceptual level and they're interested in investing in your product. So your pattern library becomes a trust builder through the episodes where you say, I've seen this exact situation before, and here's what if you do if XYZ, you address it, right? So that level of depth is only possible from someone who has lived inside a problem over and over. And the listener knows it. Your network becomes a separator, right? Through guest conversations. This is going to distinguish you. This is going to separate you from the competition, right? And is also going to amplify your domain. So then this is going to signal to the market that you have relationships, high level relationships. And that signal is worth more than any credential on your resume. And I'll leave you guys with this. I know I've been yapping, but the product, again, I will say has always been there. It was there the first year you solved a problem in your organization, and your organization has never seen before. You solved it, right? You built a framework that became the way your team operated. And it was there every single time you walked into a meeting and saw the answer before anyone else saw it, right? So the only thing that was missing was a platform to make it visible outside your company, right? And so your podcast is the platform. The mic check method is the packaging system, and the discovery call is where we map out exactly what specific product looks like and how to build the storefront that lets the market find it, help it find you. So the link is in the show notes. I will see you there.